All right, we're looking at the business end of this service truck. Here's a question: what size air compressor would you put on a service truck? Would you put an 80-gallon, 60-gallon? What brand? Ingersoll Rand. Yeah, compressor. This obviously has a hole that was pre-drilled right here, and I can tell it's a compressor because it has a discharge like blast pattern right there, and then the holes. I'm thinking it's a 60 or 80 gallon. This truck plan, full service automotive mobile technician on the go. Now when I say full service, I mean full service. You can do everything with the exception if you don't have a 4-post lift. But I'll put a quick jack system on here. So you can use a quick jack, have a generator, all that stuff. What size generator would you put on here? I have a Predator 9500. Would you put a smaller one? I really don't need a 9500 watt generator because the size of that, but to run a 230 compressor, I need to look at the Harbor Freight compressors and see they're smaller ones that can run at 230 voltage. Obviously you don't want something that's gonna overload based on the amperage, but mobile, you gotta think smaller and more efficiently. Toolboxes. What toolboxes would you put on a mobile service truck? Those 2 U.S. Service General service carts. Take the wheels off, put them right here. You know, how does that work? Use these shelves, raise these shelves up. Raise these shelves up to be, and use them as storage. And then we can put additional stuff underneath. What do you think about that? This thing doesn't have AC, which I think on something like this, it might be good, it might be bad. But what kind of fan would you put on here? I know Viper has a good one. I'm not sure if they manufactured or it's rebranded as something else. But what kind of fan would you put? I'm thinking about putting a fan right up here, right? What else is there? Equipment. We got toolbox. We got that. I have a 50-ton press. Obviously, that's not needed. That's a lot of space. But maybe put a small little hydraulic press in here or something. But I do have ball joint stuff, so that's not even really necessary. But maybe a little small. What equipment would you put in a service truck? What equipment is used in a shop environment that you would use? Obviously, you got to think smaller. Well, if it's like a hydraulic press, obviously it would be a smaller hydraulic press or something. A vise, I'll certainly put a vise in here. It's like a third hand. All that stuff. How would you lay out your toolbox to make sure it's inventoried? And then you put an air compressor there. Would just a wrap-up hose around the air compressor work, or would I want to put a hose reel, run the hose up, and then put a hose reel right here with like a swivel arm on it, so it swivels outwards for your standard tires, your checks and stuff, all that stuff, smoke machine, all that stuff. Or for the compressor, I have a 25-gallon DeWalt. It's noisy as hell, but would you go with that? I have a little rigid pancake compressor. I think that's inadequate. Or would you just do the Milwaukee battery-powered one, the larger M18? What makes sense? 2 M18 smaller compressors or a big air compressor? What makes sense? I don't know. But I do have options. I do have options that I currently own, and then I'm not opposed to acquiring other options to put in here. What else is there? I don't want to drain this battery. Let me know if someone drives one of these trucks or has like experience with this. Are these brackets like structural? And then I just realized I probably can't go on the roof to wash this thing because it's not very sturdy up there. So I'll just have to wash it from the side. Yeah, are these cross beam structural, or can I take them out? AC machine. I'm not familiar with the AC machine. Obviously, that's a certification, I think. What AC machine would you recommend? Robin Air, one of the branded ones. Obviously, AC work. I think that's good money. Suspension work. I got all the ball joint stuff already. Engine work. You know, that's standard stuff. And then what stuff would you stack on a truck as far as like parts and fluids and stuff that you would have on hand? There's a battery compartment right here, and I could have a known good battery just sitting there, you know, as a diagnostic or whatever, you know, testing a bad battery or something. That way you could tell a customer, hey, it's your battery. I got a known good battery. Talking about diagnostic. So obviously, if you've watched this channel, you've seen my tool setup in my garage. It's a lot of tools. You can see some of the green boxes in there, but maybe a tool cart right there and a diagnostic cart right here with all the wires and gizmos and stuff. And then how would you inventory stuff so you don't lose stuff over time? How would you make sure it's inventory and all that stuff? There's obviously a lot more to this thing, but just thinking about the exciting part, not the how to set up a business part. That part I'll get to. This is more so, does it work for me? Does it work for a service mechanic? Obviously, there's the thing about, you know, putting like a first aid station right here, worker safety, getting an extra lock on this door. Well, not an extra lock, putting a lock on it. It doesn't have a lock right now, it just slides in place. But putting a lock on this door, all that stuff. And then just doing some cosmetic upgrades. Maybe putting like a mini fridge and microwave right here for the technician, the driver. And then doing a couple more cosmetic stuff up here. Putting some tint on the windows. Getting some tint on this window to, you know, so it's just not like completely whatever. Getting some music in here or something, you know, little small stuff. But in the business end of it, what all tools, what all toolboxes, what all things is suggested you throw on here? Again, I have a lot of tools, so I'm gonna eventually, once I get this stuff cleaned out and I have an idea how I'm gonna build it out, I'm gonna start like putting stuff on here. And really, it doesn't mean anything. I can put everything I have on here now, but that's not gonna be the case. I just wanna get an idea for like the larger stuff. Would you put a cherry picker on here? For me, that may mean I have larger cherry pickers, but those might be too large, even though they fold up and they roll. Like my OTC 2,000 pound capacity one, that might be too large. You know, maybe I think OTC sells a smaller one, but maybe that you know, you can use those engines, the bars that straddle the frame, all that stuff. What all tools will you put on here? Again, a full service truck, you should be able to, if it's a master technician and he's comfortable pulling up to a job and undertaking that job and it pays and it makes sense in terms of pay and time, we should be able to knock it out. This thing has a lift gate, so anything 1,600 pounds and under, and it's not going to like take up this entire cab. It's full game. It's full, you know, send it. If it's gonna make money and be advantageous to getting a job complete, worker safety, make sure they can work safely, all that stuff. And then there's outside cosmetic stuff, like on the exterior, put like a service light or something, all that stuff. There's going to be a backup camera on the back with a display up front. There's a little fix that I got to do to the lift gate to make sure it's not, you know, it's not hanging up, which I've already identified the problem, and I'll fix it. I'll probably do a video when I'll make it a video once I'm doing it. Like small cosmetic stuff, like plugging these holes that I'm not going to use, and then there's like back here there's a lip because this thing, the rivets popped up. Just bolting that stuff down. I'm not sure what was going on right here, but it looks solid. But I'm thinking like toolboxes right here, to US General or whatever. If I can find like cheap branded ones, then I will go for them, or whatever. Maybe a diagnostic cart. All the small stuff. Basically, I'll be able to shop for all the stuff in my own personal garage. And we'll go from there. Maybe even one of those, you know, a lot of people like working on like transmissions and stuff. Again, this truck is not for like those larger jobs that are going to take a while, right? But if it pays and you have the equipment and you have the expertise, I'm not opposed to getting those jobs done. You know, like a transmission job, if you can get one of those like transmission jacks that look like your standard jack, you know, you might be able to service a transmission that way, and it's a good pay versus, you know, a guy taking it to a shop and charging an arm and a leg. But that assumes that you get somebody who's certified in all those areas and can do all those things. So that's another challenge. But for now, I'm excited about the tool aspect of it and building this thing out. I'm hoping not to spend a lot of money because I already have most of the tools. I have a scan tool. I have a Altel Ultra, and then I got smaller scan tools. I got everything. Coolant machine. I would need to get like an AC machine, but I do have a smaller Robin ear thing. But yeah, I do have a lot of tools. So what would you guys recommend? Anyway, I gotta run. I gotta get to work. I gotta do some things to pay for all stuff. But yeah, I am really excited about this endeavor. Truly something that I didn't grow up wanting to do, but it kind of grew on me, and I think I'll enjoy the aspect of business and doing something in business that I might enjoy myself, even though I won't be doing it full time myself. But yeah, really excited about the idea of, you know, moving these shelves up and like seeing how well they work with it, because this is a lot of storage. I can probably fit all the blow molded cases on one that I would ever need in a mobile service truck. And have it by sections, so you're not digging and you're not searching. At least it won't be hard to find in here. But super excited. Ideas. Let me know, how would you outfit this truck from left to right? What would you put where? Like I said, I want to say this is 20. It might be a 26 footer. I actually got to measure it myself. Yeah. There's more to this that I'll talk about, like cosmetically, some of the stuff that I plan to do. And I'll talk about the mechanical stuff that I see that needs addressing sooner than later. Like I think it has like a valve cover gasket leak on the right valve cover. But yeah, that's for another time. Anyway, let me know what I say. Like and hit the thing.